All right, in this video, I'm going to be going over the entirety of the UFC 310 event. The card was okay. It was okay. It wasn't. It was weak, is what I will say. The card wasn't. It started off pretty good, kinda. It started off with some finishes. There was a good amount of finishes on this card, but every single finish was super weird and slow. And to be honest, a lot of finishes shouldn't have happened. Like these fights should not have been called off, but we'll get to it. We got robberies. We have a lot of boring fights that were supposed to be fun, and we have a lot of hype ruined. So yeah, we'll get into it, and we'll start with the early prelims. Kennedy Nzechukwu versus Lucas Bursky. I went with Kennedy Nzechukwu. I thought the light heavyweight skill was going to work in his favor, and it did. Kennedy knocked him out in the first round, minute 4:51 in the first round, and he looked good. He didn't look that good. Lucas Bursky was actually putting some shots on him, and but Kennedy was good with his head movement. He was a little bit quicker, and he found the shot when it mattered and was able to put out Lucas, which is not surprising to me. Kennedy will probably go far in the heavyweight division. So yeah, next Clay Guida versus Chase Hooper. So I went with Chase Hooper by domination, which is what he did. I might have said it decision actually, but I went with Chase Hooper. He submitted Clay Guida in the first round. Dominant grappling. Guida couldn't really do anything. Chase Hooper instantly chopped for a takedown. Instantly got him down. They scrambled a bit, but Chase Hooper was relentless with his takedowns and kept getting him. And Clay Guida got arm barred and then ran around the cage holding his arm like a weirdo. It was odd. Clay Guida is a very odd guy, but we knew that already. But yeah, good for Chase Hooper. He gets it done. Submission round one. Very cool for him. Next, Michael Chiesa versus Max Griffin. We have a rear naked choke from Michael Chiesa. I went with Michael Chiesa by decision, and it was pretty boring for the first two rounds. Nothing really happened. Michael Chiesa was better at grappling, and Max Griffin was throwing big but not really hitting. Michael Chiesa was actually doing really good kind of everywhere. He was kind of dominating Max Griffin it wasn't like a domination, but he was like hitting Michael Chiesa with really awkward shots a lot of the time, and they weren't powerful, but they were doing damage. And he just throws them so odd. Michael Chiesa does, and then he was able to get the takedown and rear naked choke Max Griffin in the third round. It's good for Michael Chiesa. He won't be anything big, I don't think, in the division. He's too old now, but it's good for him. It was on his birthday, so that's pretty awesome night for him. So yeah, next, Cody Durden versus Joshua Van. Super happy with this. I went with Joshua Van. I thought he was going to be able to catch Cody Durden early, but instead, Joshua Van stuffed Cody Durden's takedowns in the first. Cody went for like a 3 or 4 in the first. In the first, yeah. Went for like 3 or 4 in the first, got 2, but Joshua Van would just get up, which was actually surprising because of Joshua Van's stature. I thought if it did go to grappling, Cody Durden would do better, but he couldn't do shit. And Joshua Van got up, started piecing him up with the boxing, hit him with some fucking mean shots. This was definitely my favorite fight on the card. Joshua Van's a little monster and was cracking him. Either Cody Durden has a great chin, which I know he doesn't really, or Joshua Van has like no power at all because he's hitting him with like such. It looked so powerful, the shots he was hitting him with, and he was doing a lot of damage. But I really thought he would have been TKO'd very early in this fight with how hard Joshua Van looked like he was hitting. But it was he got to the decision. Kind of impressive. Joshua Van showed that he's better. Was working the body really well. Just crisp boxing. Super fun to watch. Joshua Van is a little fucking awesome beast. And I'm glad I picked him to win. And he got it done by decision, which was awesome. Very surprised it was a decision, though. Cody looked fucking battered. Next, the end of the early prelims, we have Chris Weidman versus Eric Anders. So I went with Chris Weidman, and we almost got it. Chris Weidman rocked him bad in the first round. He just can't finish. He just couldn't finish the fight, which I'm not super surprised. It's just like weird. Why would you just lay on top of him when you have him hurt? Let him up, or like really try to go for ground and pound. If it's like not working positionally, get up. He's rocked. But Chris Weidman didn't do that. So he won the first round because of the knockdown. Eric Anders was doing not that bad though in the first. Second round comes. Eric Anders rocks him, drops him. Chris Weidman's supposed to be like the All American wrestler. Could not get up from anything. Eric Anders was all over him. 121 total strikes to 27. Ground and pound galore, beating the shit out of him. And yeah, Chris Weidman got beat by TKO to ground and pound in a really awkward, dumb way that doesn't really like. I wouldn't. I don't get why they stopped the fight at all. Like he was getting hit for 4 minutes, and then in the last 10 seconds, they decided that it was enough. Even though just let him go for the last 10 seconds. You already let him do that. Just let him go for the last 10. It was stupid. But it doesn't really matter. To be honest, Eric Anders gets it done by KO. It's just boring. Like if that's the finish, what the fuck was the point of the round? If that was the finish at the end, what was the point? Or what's the what's even the point of any of it? Of any of the prolonged ground and pound, all that damage taken, there's no point. And then any cool hype finish we could have got standing in the next round is completely ruined. I just hate that kind of thing. And there's been a couple of them on this card. So yeah, we'll get to that. But yeah, Eric Anders lost. Or won. Good for him. Next, a robbery, in my opinion. Randy Brown versus Brian Battle. I thought Randy Brown was outstriking Brian Battle pretty clearly. There's a lot of clinch situations which Brian Battle was doing pretty good in, but Randy Brown was. I thought he was hitting him with a better, more clean strikes. Clearly, got 2 takedowns. He got outstruck total strikes wise, but he was hitting him with the harder, more devastating shots, and Brian Battle couldn't really get his game going, in my opinion. He had a decent clinch game, but that's about it. I think Randy really took this on the feet, and that's where pretty much the whole fight took place, was on the feet. So I thought this was a robbery. I thought Randy Brown won it, but I picked Brian Battle and he won, so I'll take it, I guess. But I will not be taking the feature fight decision. I will not be taking that, but we'll get to that. That is the worst thing ever, but we'll get to it. So yeah, next, Movsar Evloev versus Aljamain Sterling. I went with Movsar. I thought he was going to be able to squeak out the decision, and he did. Sterling was actually doing really good, to be honest. They were both very capable on the ground. Aljamain low-key was doing a bit better on the ground. He got 6 out of his 8 takedowns, and Movsar got 4 out of his 5. But Movsar was a little bit more busy, a little bit better strike-wise. 136 total strikes to 45. That's where he pretty much won the fight. Just being more busy in those situations where damage is necessary and not just ground control. He was getting a little bit more damage off than Aljamain would be in those positions. So Movsar got it done. I'm very glad he did, to be honest. I don't like Aljamain. I don't like Movsar either, but at least he's like a little bit busy, I guess. But a lot of people think Aljamain won. I don't think so. I think this was deserving for Movsar. And good for him. So yeah, good for Movsar. Next, Vincente Luque versus Themba Gorimbo. This was sick. I went for Themba. Sadly, I really wish I went for Vincente, but you can't go for Vincente after his last couple of performances. Now you can. This was sweet. Vincente Luque and Themba were going back and forth. Vincente caught him with a punch that dropped him bad, and it was kind of a weird drop that Themba was trying to get out of, and Vincente Luque instantly locked up the Darce. Prime Vincente Luque shows again, and then Themba Gorimbo completely passed out. So, so that sucks for him. He was talking a lot too, and he had Africa on his back, on his like face, like painted on his chest and stuff. And now he has that like. I feel bad for him because he has that story that The Rock bought him a house and stuff. So it's just like he kind of has to win, and now he didn't win, and he lost pretty badly. So it's just like, ooh, it's not good. It's not a good look for Themba. But very happy Vincente Luque won. If that, give Nick Diaz someone else, because that Vincente is not a pushover. He's not on the level of Nick Diaz in that way. So we'll go to the next fight. Dominic Reyes versus Anthony Smith, end of the prelims. This was sad to watch, to be honest. Dominic Reyes was just doing a little bit better everywhere. Anthony Smith had his like moments where he'd come in, but Dominic Reyes was outstriking him, out wrestling him. 172 to 24. Holy fuck. Okay, 172 total strikes to 24. Never mind. Dominic Reyes really fucked him up. But there's been Anthony Smith came out and said that he was saying that that Dominic should hit him in the fight, telling Dominic Reyes, hit me, I want to feel something. And then he started crying and retired after the fight. It was just very sad to watch. I don't hate Anthony Smith. I like Anthony Smith, to be honest. I don't hate his character. His fight style is boring, but I don't really hate him. And watching him just go in there ashed a bit, it's really weird, to be honest. He curled up into a ball like he always does and just got hit. And it was a weird stoppage, to be honest. We have 10 seconds left. Just let him go. It's not that hard of a ground and pound. Just let him go on. But nope. They stopped the fight right at the end of the round. I get this one a little bit more because Anthony Smith was being a masochist and just wanting to get hit. But I get it. His friend died. It is really sad. He should probably retire now. He could still be the gatekeeper, and he probably does beat some of those lower ranked guys, but there's no point really. But Dominic Reyes gets it done by TKO in the second. I picked him, and yeah, good for Dominic Reyes. He'll go up in the rankings now. Hopefully, we see him come back. If he could make a run again, that'd be really funny. So yeah, Dominic Reyes gets it done. Next, main card: Nate Landwehr versus Doo Ho Choi. So I went with Nate Landwehr by putting the train name to good use and bringing the more of a rough, gritty battle to Doo Ho Choi. But that's not what happened at all. Doo Ho Choi was lethal in his striking, dismantled the fuck out of Nate Landwehr on the feet, landed 4 takedowns out of 5, just absolutely dominated every single part of the fight. 114 total strikes to 32. Destroyed him. It was insane, to be honest, to watch. Nate Landwehr did not look good. Doo Ho Choi looked pretty fucking good. He looked great. So that's the flipperoo, the switcheroo that I was not expecting. But I did say this would be close. Or I did think in my head that this would be close. But I didn't expect a complete domination from Doo Ho Choi. So that's pretty crazy. But yeah, he gets it done. Nate Landwehr gets obliterated and TKO'd in the third. So yeah, another kind of weird stoppage. There's a bunch of weird ground and pound stoppages that they shouldn't really be stopped, but there's a lot of them. So this one makes a little bit more sense. But come on, why are we stopping these fights from this? It's just like weak. That's why this card is so weak, because it's like nothing. There's like things happening and there's finishes, but none of them are like cool. There's nothing like big. It's just people laying down and getting hit with tappy shit, and then the ref decides it's done at the very end. It's so dumb. But next we have a pretty sick finish. Bryce Mitchell versus Kron Gracie. Kron Gracie is so trash. I barely watched this fight, to be honest. I knew how it was going once Kron Gracie started pulling guard. Kron Gracie is horrible at fighting. He's just not good. He's good at jiu-jitsu. He's very good at jiu-jitsu, but he's not good at actually like MMA fighting. He's not a fighter. He's a player. He's a jiu-jitsu player. He's no fighter. And Bryce Mitchell showed that. He pulled guard, and Bryce Mitchell pretty much just said, okay, fucking bet. And he slammed him on his head, and then elbowed him with some big fucking elbows, and Kron Gracie went out cold. Or not out cold, but he was out looking at the stars like he was done. But yeah, Bryce Mitchell gets it done by KO in the third round. So that's good for him. Bryce Mitchell had a lot of time on top. He got 2 takedowns. He didn't want to take too many risks because of the Gracie Jiu-Jitsu, but he dominated the fight. And yeah, showed why you need striking to be an MMA fighter, at least to a degree. You can't pull guard. That's not a thing anymore in MMA. You can't do that. So yeah, Bryce Mitchell gets it done by TKO. Pretty good finish. Pretty sweet. Next, Cyril Gahn versus Alexander Volkov. So this was a stupid, horrible robbery, and I hate it because I picked Volkov. I was right. God damn it. Volkov Fucking outplayed Srogan clearly. Clearly won. I thought he won all 3 rounds, to be honest. He was hitting him with the better strikes. 105 to 48 total strikes. What are we doing? 3 takedowns. I'm pretty sure a shitload more control time. The whole 3rd round was pretty much him on top. Volkov crushed this fight. Outstruck him. Bigger shots. All Srogan had was like tappy low kicks and barely anything else on the feet, really. Alexander Volkov dominated this fight, in my opinion, and many others. Only really those judges that called it off were the only ones really, that I've seen at least, that thought Srogan won, which is so stupid. Alexander Volkov clearly won this fight. I picked him to win. I'm right. I'm taking that as a win, and Volkov should not get doxxed for this in his career, because that would be bullshit. I know people do, but come on. Either rematch this fight. Fuck, I don't even want that. Make Srogan fight like Jelton Almeida or something, and then give Volkov to Aspinall. Because everybody thinks Volkov won, so who really gives a fuck what the judges think? That should be a thing more often. There should be an MMA community consensus. A little bit. That should be like a factor in the judging. There should be a post-judging system where the masses, if it's really one-sided, they can flip it. Or at least like, it's a draw, no contest. Because that's bullshit. That's complete shit. And it really helps the image of John Jones that Srogan got a win. Because this really taints John Jones's 2 wins at heavyweight if Srogan loses to Volkov, who already got smoked by Aspinall. Just saying. And we now know that I think Aspinall fucking murders Srogan after that performance. So yeah, this fight sucked. It was a good fight, but stupid decision. But now we'll get to a fight that sucked. Shavkat Rakhmonov versus Ian Gary. So what the fuck? This fight was supposed to be sick. This is the 2 undefeated fighters. It was supposed to be sweet. It was not sweet. It was lame. Shavkat Rakhmonov made it lame, to be honest. Going for a lot of takedowns. 2 out of 10 takedowns. My God, Shavkat. Held him up against the cage a shitload. And that's how he pretty much won. Ian Gary was not doing bad. In the 5th round, he had a sick moment where he almost choked him out. Full rear naked choke in. I was pissing my pants because I don't want Ian Gary to win. But fuck. The whole time I was like, come on, Shavkat. You're supposed to be the killer. You're supposed to be the guy that's like entertaining. Now there's only like... Now JDM is the only welterweight that I am any at all interested in because of this. It's just, and I saw hints of it in other fights. Like when he fought Wonder Boy, I was like, oh. But I was like, it's Wonder Boy. Of course you're going to do that against Wonder Boy. But now it's just like, fuck. He is just boring when he wants to be. When he's against like a real contender, he'll be boring he's not afraid to be boring. He didn't put it on him like I thought he would. It was bullshit. Very boring. I'm not excited for Bilal Shavkat anymore. I want JDM to fight either Kamaru or Leon. If JDM fucking finishes one of them, which he will, he's not going to make any fight fucking boring. That's one thing I know for a fact, is JDM won't make any fight boring like that. He won't hold anyone against the cage ever. And we know what would happen if Rakhmonov decided to fight Hamzat at any point. That was a conversation that Hamzat would ragdoll him and choke him out. Super gay co-main event. So yeah, boring. Shavkat gets it done. 19-0 now. He will get a title shot. Let's see what JDM does. I'm excited for that. Next. So all hype. This is just a hype killer card. A lot of hype was ruined on this card. There's no hype coming off of this card, to be honest. There's nothing cool now that this card has happened. Everything is just either the same or it's like, okay, cool. It doesn't, like, nothing is, it didn't progress the UFC at all. And the main event really solidified that. Pantoja versus Asakura. So I picked Kai Asakura by knee, and he threw a flying knee and it hit him. So I got that part right. But good thing, or bad thing, for me, Pantoja has a great chin and insane grappling, which I knew. I knew he had better grappling. And he got the submission in the 2nd round. Rear naked choke. Passed out Kai Asakura. He wasn't ready for the grappling pressure of it, Alexandre Pantoja. He just wasn't. He was doing his thing on the feet for a bit, but eventually Pantoja took over with the grappling. This is how it was going to go if it was going to go Pantoja's way, and it's how it went. I thought it was going to go a little bit longer, to be honest. This is impressive by Pantoja because Kaya Sakura is no pushover. So this is pretty sweet for him. But yeah, we have Pantoja as champ still, and we have no contender that is clearly, like, we have no clear good contender to fight Pantoja. He called out DC in the post fight, or not DC, Demetrius Johnson. He's not going to come back. Demetrius Johnson just isn't going to come back. That's not going to happen. So we have Kai Kara France, I guess. So that's cool. Or maybe a Figgy coming down. Or maybe... Nope. I think that's about it. So yeah, flyweight's ruined. That's okay. It was never cool. It was cool for a bit. Figueiredo made it cool, but I love Figueiredo. So, yeah. Card was mid. Killed all hype. So much for that stacked card. It was supposed to be the most stacked card ever. It was not. It was boring. Good thing January will be fun, maybe. With the fighters I see on that card, it could definitely be boring. No. The feature fight, the co-main and main might be boring. The feature fight will be sweet. Yuri Jamal Hill will not be boring. Kevin Holland or Ritter, I don't think that will be boring either. That card is really stacked. So yeah, we have Colby Covington, Joaquin Buckley next weekend. And I am very excited for that. And I'll do matchups later in this week after I do a new matchups for this card video. So yeah, I'll see you soon.